Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is going to review for Witches of East End Season 2, Episode 5, Boogie Nights. Now, it's been 2 weeks since Witches of East End was on, and I was really looking forward to this episode, obviously because of the last episode. That last episode was just huge, especially them killing off Victor, and the way they ended that episode definitely I thought was really good as well. And this episode was by far the best episode of the season. I really loved this episode. I loved the flashbacks in this episode. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the episode. I loved the twists in this episode, and I really liked everything that was going on in this episode. Everything was really, really good, and just, wow, such a great episode. So we see Joanna in the woods. She's lighting 2 candles, and she does a spell to honor Victor's loss, basically settling his spirit free. She's still grieving over Victor, so I can understand why she's doing that. But as she watches it form, the image of a bird and fly, but as she watches it form the image of a bird and fly away, the candles are then blown out, and she finds the scale of the beast that's been terrorizing East End, which we finally get that name, and that name is the Mandragora. The Mandragora. Now, of course, that Mandragora is the thing that is, with Ingrid, and is terrorizing Ingrid, so we'll get to Ingrid in a second, but basically, what ends up happening is that, basically, Joanna and Wendy, realize that they learned about the, Mandragora army their father, raised in Asgard from Frederick. He's convinced that the creature is the one responsible for the 2 innocent deaths, and that it's come through the portal seeking his head. So Joanna decides to contact an old friend who fought a Mandragora and lived to tell the tale. That's what she wants to do. She lived to tell the tale, so that's what, Joanna thinks is the best thing to do. Especially because Joanna's almost killed. She's almost hit by a car, basically. And, basically, they locate, Joanna's former friend Alex, who is the one person who could tell how to subdue and defeat a Mandragora, but the only problem is that Alex is a very powerful hedge fund trader. She still harbors ill will toward Joanna for something that occurred in the past. We don't know what it is, but something occurred in the past, and they don't like each other because of that. So Alex ends up showing up at the Beauchamp residence, 35 years removed from her last visit, and once there, she informs the Beauchamps that the Mandragora exists in a parasitic dyad with its mate, whose life force it feeds upon during coitus, and they're connected even when they're not together, meaning that killing one would kill the other, and though the group decides against seeking out the mate, Alex does have a plan, and the plan basically is that basically the plan involves releasing an energy field around the woods that acts as a trip wire. When the Mandragora walks through it, they'll be able to track it down and take it out for good. That's basically what their plan is. So they decide to basically, they really want to try this out. So basically, she returns home to we saw a Freya flashback, which I'll get to in a second, but basically, what ends up happening is basically that, Alex tries to read Wendy's palm until they're alerted that the Mandragora tripped the force field, grabbing her poison dart. Alex heads out into the woods, with Joanna following close behind, and, basically, Ingrid gets summoned into the woods by the Mandragora just as Joanna and Alex close in on the creature, while Ingrid is waking up and heads to the Gardner estate. Basically, we see that, Joanna and Alex find the Mandragora's lair, and just as the latter is about to take the beast out, Joanna gets in the way, and the reason is that she sees that Ingrid is the Mandragora's mate. So Alex does decide to nick him, though, and it causes a wound to pop up on Ingrid, which was very surprising. The Mandragora disappears into a puff of black smoke, and I didn't even get to the most surprising part of the episode. Basically, Joanna and Alex are standing there, and they end up kissing. I mean, that was huge when that happens. I guess Joanna's bisexual. I guess, that's what ended up happening, but honestly, I think that's a good twist. I really like that twist. I thought that was definitely a very well done twist, and I'm looking forward to seeing, because definitely that's what happened in the past, is that Alex was probably in love with her, but she went to Victor. That's probably what the twist was. So, you never know what the twist is, but definitely that I think that's very interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing where that's going to go. So, basically, Ingrid then attacks Dash, and the Mandragora pops up to put one of his tentacles in Dash's ear. And of course, what ends up happening is that when Alex shoots the Mandragora, Ingrid all of a sudden has blood all over her, and Ingrid is not herself, because the Mandragora is basically controlling her. And Joy and Alex, they arrive at the Gardner place, only to see the Mandragora kidnap Ingrid, and unfortunately it took Ingrid. So, they're kind of in this predicament now where it took Ingrid, and we're going to see what happens in the next episode. But I thought the main plot was very well done. I really enjoyed it. Very interested in seeing what's going to happen between Alex and Joanna, as I said, because they just made out randomly. I don't know if there's actually, feelings there, or what's going on there, but definitely really awesome stuff there. Really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen there. Let's go over to Freya, who, in my opinion, by far had the most interesting plot in this episode. Freya's plot was really, really good. She was having fantasies, because, we know that they have lived in past lives, so Freya was actually fantasizing about past lives with Killian and Dash. So she dreams of all of the past lives she shared with Killian, and this one takes place in the 70s, where Freya is at a club mainstay, and she's the girlfriend of the owner, who of course is Dash, and she did this sexy dance sort of thing, which I thought was cool, and Killian's setting the bar, though it's obvious to everyone that there's something going on between her and him and Freya. There's obviously something going on there. And, the two do end up meeting up in the bathroom. Freya does cocaine, Killian puts her up against the wall, and they end up having sex. Probably the most graphic sex scene we've had on this show. I mean, I was surprised by how far that went. But, Ingrid does wake her up, and, Freya does realize that she is fantasizing. And I felt bad for Freya in that scene, because she had to be woken up from that, really nice dream that she had. You could see that probably Freya really enjoyed that dream. And, I felt bad for Freya in that scene. I mean, definitely I did. But basically, Ingrid, brings her back to reality, learns that her sister has been traveling through time and living out the past lives that she left behind, basically because Killian's her soulmate in each of these lives, so Dash is only sometimes there, and only sometimes there. So, that makes Freya wonder why they aren't together in the present. What's going on there? So, why are they here now? Why they're here and now suck so much more than the past? Rather than leaving Freya sulk, though Ingrid makes sure that she gets out of bed, face the present, rather than hiding behind her memories. That's what she decides to do. And basically, what ended up happening after this is that Killian informs Freya that he knows that she's a witch and that he's a warlock. And he's more concerned, though, about the fact that she lied to him about it. And I'm glad that he found out. I mean, he never really knew. I didn't really think about this. Killian never really knew that Freya was a witch, and now he knows. And basically, he didn't realize that he was a warlock. He had no idea what was going on. And, of course, Freya should have at least informed him, definitely. Definitely, she should have at least informed him. If this is truly the man that she loves, she should have at least informed him. So, she's very surprised that she didn't say anything to him when she came to Santo Domingo. She claims that she didn't know when or how to tell him, something like that. And just as she, having been inspired by his plea for honesty, nearly confesses that she's still in love with him. She confesses that she still loves him, and that's just the truth. She's still in love with him. So basically, then Ava interrupts and ruins the moment. And Freya goes into the back room to take more of the potion that allows her to live her past lives. And, that's what she decides to do. She decides to go back to live the past lives. And we see another flashback. I thought this was definitely, very well done. We saw this next flashback. Basically, what we see is it's revealed that, Freya and Dash are actually running a major cocaine business infused with a magic ring. Now, Dash in the 1970s was called Dan. That's what his name was. And he's actually the owner of the club they're dancing in. However, Freya wants to leave him for Killian, whose name was Bobby in the 1970s. Only to be stuck in the fact that Dan is very dangerous, and that she doesn't want to put Bobby in any danger from an association with her. But Freya does, so yeah, she's very confused. She doesn't know what to do because she really loves, Dan, but she wants to be with Bobby as well. But Freya does eventually leave Dash once she reaches the end of her rope and experiences a very violent incident due to her willingness to leave him. So, then we get probably the most interesting scene of this plot that was definitely very well done. She returns home to Joanna and Alex, telling them that while she finally left Dan, she fell in love with somebody else, somebody she wants to move to California and have children with. However, Alex reads her palm, sees that while Bobby would do anything for her, the two are star-crossed lovers. Basically, just because they're star-crossed lovers, that does not mean that that's a good thing. They're never to be in the right place at the right time and in the right frame of mind to have a successful relationship. So something will always get in the way, and instead of dealing with that, and something will always get in the way. So Freya runs away again, and basically this makes Freya think. Now she knows actually what's going on, because if you remember, she was trying to figure out what exactly is going on here. Why can't you just, why can't we be together? And now she kind of knows why. And I definitely thought that was interesting. So basically, what ends up happening is that Freya does end up, going over to Killian, basically, and, she decides to let him and Ava be together, that's the best thing that she did. She said, you know what, you love Ava, be with her, I'm not going to stand in the way of the two of you, and basically Freya realized that they can't be together, so it's really sad that that happened for Freya and Killian, but I really hope it's not like that. By the way, I don't trust Ava. She made Killian drink this thing. And basically back in Freya's past life, Dan actually shot Bobby in the heart of the middle of the club and tells her that this is what happened. This is what her deception gets her. So, definitely Freya, really didn't want that to happen again. So I was glad that Freya said, look, you can be with Ava. But we know that something is going to happen because I don't trust Ava right now, especially after what she did. She gave that, this thing to Killian. She said, drink it. So I don't really trust Ava right now. I don't know what to think of her, but I really like that plot. That was a very good plot. Really was into the main plot. And let's get to the final plot, which had to do with Dash. And Dash's plot was very, very intense in this episode. Really like that, definitely. Basically, we see Dash is, trying to nurse this boy in the hospital. Of course, Dash, as we know, he is now actually happy again. He's himself. And Dash is wishing Sam, a cancer patient heading into an important surgery, good luck. This is also when Joanna and Wendy learned about the Mandragora army their father raised in Asgard from Frederick. And basically, Dash, all the while, Dash comes into, Sam's surgery to find that the boy had been down for nearly 15 minutes. Despite the best efforts in the team, they had lost him that day. But when the rest of the medical personnel leave, Dash puts his hands over Sam, mutters some Latin, raises the boy from the dead, shocking himself in the process, and he was actually able to bring him back from the dead, surprisingly, so I thought that was definitely surprising. So, Dash decides to give Ingrid a checkup because Ingrid, of course, she doesn't know what's going on with her, because in the last episode, she knows she's starting to possibly lose her memory. So she points out that his hands are turning black. Like, his hands are black. Like, he has black, not just black fingernails, but, like, this part of his hands are black. Like, his fingers are black. Now, it's likely from the inverted spell he used on Sam. It turns out that the blackness on his hands is actually the death that was removed from Sam's body. Being that nothing can be destroyed in the universe, it had to go somewhere, and ended up in Dash's system. So now he must figure out what to do with the death and decides whether he should give it back to Sam. And it's really sad, because now Dash might die. That's what's really sad here. I still ship Ingrid and Dash together, I really do. I really do ship them together. Of course, then what ends up happening, though, is that, basically, what happens after that is that Ingrid, of course, as we know, was controlled by the Mandragora. That's all that happened after that. And Dash is faced with a very hard decision. A 34-year-old robber gets brought into the hospital, and after being shot by police, he's going to live through one of the paramedics They express frustration, and at the ones who deserve to die, always seeming to catch the breaks. They're really upset about that. So Dash gives Sam's death to the robber, and causes him to die shortly after arriving at the hospital. And when he meets up with Ingrid, Dash tells her there's nothing physically wrong with her, that the test point to whatever's wrong with her either being psychological or supernatural in nature. So there's something else going on there. What I'm thinking is going on with Ingrid is that she's being controlled by that Mandragora, and it's kind of making her lose herself. Basically, if the Mandragora dies, Ingrid's gonna die. That's what we saw in this episode, that the Mandragora and Ingrid are very much like E.T. and Elliot. They are connected. Whatever happens to the Mandragora is gonna happen to Ingrid. I don't know how they're connected. I have no idea how this is happening, but somehow they are connected. I don't know how specifically, but they're connected. That's all we really know, is that they're connected. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. Now, as far as Alex and Joanna go, do they have feelings for each other? We saw Joanna kiss Alex. Obviously, she's bisexual, because they used to be together in the past, and basically, you know, the thing I'm really wondering there is what's going to happen between the two of them. They just randomly kissed. I don't know what to think of that, really. I really don't, because they didn't really bring it up after that. But I thought they did handle that well. I mean, it was shocking. It worked for the episode because, you know, Joanna was grieving over Victor. It worked really well, actually, in my opinion. I thought they did that very, very well. Are they going to get Ingrid back? Ingrid obviously was taken by the Mandragora. I don't know what the Mandragora is going to do to her. We'll have to see what happens there. But that's going to get definitely very interesting. Now, as far as Freya goes, is there, you know, Freya, do you think she made the right decision? I definitely think she does. She does, you know, she wants to protect Killian. But the thing is, maybe letting Killian and Ava be together might actually hurt Killian, because, again, I don't trust Ava. Ava just seems way too nice, way too friendly. When someone is way too friendly on the show, I don't trust him. When this happens on a horror show, I don't trust him. This happened with Penelope last season. She seemed way too friendly, and look what happened with her. She was the main villain of last season, so definitely, I don't trust Ava right now, and there's just something about her I don't trust. I don't know what it is, but I don't trust Ava pretty much at all. I really don't trust her. Now, as far as Dash goes, of course, you know, the Mandragora almost killed Dash. I'm thinking if Ingrid and Dash actually do end up getting together, it's not going to be a good thing, because the Mandragora is going to kill him, definitely. Sorry, that's my laundry alarm. But, of course, you know, if the Mandragora does kill Dash, you know, the Mandragora is in love with Ingrid, so if Dash and Ingrid start having feelings for each other, the Mandragora will probably end up killing him. I don't know what's going to happen there, we'll just have to see. Also, do you think it was the right thing for Freya not to tell Killian about the fact that she was a witch and he was a warlock? I mean, I was kind of upset at her for that, because it's like, you really love this guy, why can't you just tell him the truth? I mean, that's the thing that that's the only thing I've ever been upset with Freya about. I really felt bad for her in this episode, definitely. But, let me know what you guys saw this episode. What do you guys think of it? In my opinion, this was the best episode of the season. Absolutely loved it. So much good shit happened in this episode. But that's basically it for my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, let me know if you guys saw this episode. Absolutely love this episode. That's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in my next video, which will be my review for The Leftovers. So, I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.